Welcome to Talk to Me. It's Face It Friday, y'all. And today we're talking about recognize your power, doing business your way. Today's show is sponsored by Take Action University, where they only graduate implementers. And their Lunch and Learn from Fear to Fluent Demystifying AI Writing Assistant Programs is about to come to an end, y'all. The virtual Lunch and Learn series by Lisa Ducharme, the executive results and team building coach. Session 6 will be in progress. Overcoming writer's block with AI Writing Assistant, December 20th, 2023 from 12 to 1 p.m. You're going to utilize AI writing assistants to overcome writer's block techniques for generating ideas and inspiration using AI case studies of improved creativity and productivity with the AI writing assistants. That is the Lunch and Learn Session 6, Overcoming Writer's Block with AI Writing Assistant, December 20th, 12 to 1. Bring your lunch. Let's have some fun with Take Action University, where we only graduate implementers. Hi, I'm your host, Brenda, the Soulutionist. I see things other people often miss. And today, I want to talk to you about recognizing your power to do business your way. But as always, I got to bring in my partner in crime, my friend, my accountability coach, and the person that makes sure I recognize my ability to do all things great, Lisa Ducharme. Lisa, where you at?
Hey, Brenda, I'm right here.
Hey, Lisa, there's somebody watching already. Oh, I'm so excited. We have a person. Of course, it is Coach Jorge. Hey, Coach Vasquez. Coach Vasquez, how you doing? Hey. You know, he is a ride or die. I tell you, I could not ask for a better Marine battle buddy than Coach Vasquez, who be handling his own himself. He is always supporting all things Brenda, and I love him from the bottom of my heart. I thank you, fellow Marine out there. Hoorah. Lisa, today we are talking about doing business your way. And so I have my first slide with it. What is it? Are you going to do it the new way, the old way? How will you do business? I say I do business my way. Check out the guinea pig. Lisa, can you spot him? He's a shot.
Oh, yeah, I can. There's s'mores.
You know what I think is really interesting, Lisa, is the past few days I've been talking to tons of entrepreneurs. Or should I say lots? Either way, tons, lots, more, many. And what I have discovered is so many people are caught up in the right or wrong way to do business. Lisa, is there a right or wrong way to do business? What do you say?
Actually, there is a right and a wrong way to do business. The wrong way is doing it somebody else's way.
Oh, I like that. That's a good answer.
The right way is doing it your way. You know, if you go out and you Google how to start a business, there's instructions on how to do it. But when there's really talking about doing your business, running your business, look, we're 1 in 33 million. I say that all the time. We do things differently. And that's why it's important that we do business our way.
You know, Lisa, but even when we want to do business our way, I want to remind the folks that are watching today, guess what? Fundamentals are still required. I'm going to say that for those of you in the back that did not hear me, you can do it your way, but fundamentals are still required. And Lisa, we're going to go through the fundamentals, but I really want you to take a minute and speak to why fundamentals and a foundation is so important to having a rock solid business.
Because what happens is sometimes businesses will start without the foundation. They just jump head in, they get their EIN number, they get their paperwork done, they file their LLC, and they start their business because they have friends who want to work with them. But if you don't have a system in place, as you start to bring more people on, you're going to start seeing the cracks. And as soon as you start seeing those cracks, you don't know what you missed. And if you don't have all the fundamentals for a solid foundation, just like building a house, building anything, if you build a house on cement that's got cracks all through it, you know that house is not lasting long. Your business is the same way. You have to have and do the fundamentals and have a solid foundation, because then you can actually continue to grow.
And I say, it's Face It Friday, y'all. And I want to face the fact that sometimes I did not do the fundamentals in the beginning. I kind of backtrack, but we're going to talk about them today. Here's one of my favorites. What problem do you solve? Each of us has a problem that we want to solve when we start business, or at least we hope we do. I did not know what problem I was going to solve, Lisa. Can you speak to how often we encounter entrepreneurs and they have no idea what problem they're going to solve?
Oh, it happens all the time because somebody comes up with an idea based on an annoyance they had in their life.
Mm.
And so what they're doing is they're solving their own problem, but they don't know if they're really solving a problem. Because all of us, our problems can be very small. For example, veterans who don't know about veteran resources, specifically when you're transitioning, Candiful is a really good example because they help them do their interview prep for jobs. Now, the reality is, if you went for interview prep and then all of a sudden you were like, well, I couldn't find anywhere for an interview, so I'm going to build this business. They don't know that the problem hasn't already been solved and there's a resource out there for them. And in some cases, there's lots of resources, but they didn't look to find what they needed. They just saw, well, they couldn't do it. And that's how in a lot of times with the businesses we work with, they solved their problem. They did not solve a problem.
I like that, Lisa. So one of the fundamentals is you need to discover what problem you solve. Here's another one that I love, Lisa. Who is your audience? Find your customer. I said it earlier on the live this morning. We hear people all the time say, oh, I just want to serve everybody. When you're serving everybody, you're serving nobody, and then nothing gets accomplished. The importance of knowing who your audience is, who you are speaking to, who your product serves, and who your problem is solving for is just critical to making sure you reach your target audience.
Oh, and I agree. I mean, use Coach Vasquez as an example. He has a target audience, but could you imagine if he just decided, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to coach everybody? Well, first of all, your problem comes in with Coach. He's not a football coach. Well, he may be a football coach, but he's not a football coach for this business. And so that's why that's generally one of the best examples that you can give in reference to helping people really narrow down their niche and their customers. Because if you don't know who your customer is, and you're just throwing stuff out there, remember, we're in a sea where there's a billion posts every single minute on social media. And it's like, how do you get heard in such a noisy world? Well, know who your real customer is and go for them.
And oftentimes we don't take the time to really ferret out our customer. And that's why I love what we're doing in the Solutionist portal and in the life community, because we're making sure people are clear on their customer avatar and who they are. I've named my avatar. Matter of fact, I have several avatars depending on what I'm doing. And there's no shame in having more than one, because depending on what your product or service is, you can have multiple avatars. But again, if nobody's teaching you this stuff, you don't know. And that is one of the things I love about you and I when we're working with our different clients and coaching people. We get to expose them to things so they can make informed decisions. Here's another fundamental, Lisa, that we just definitely need to talk about. And this is one that you and I will laugh about. Here you go. Ready for this slide, Lisa?
I'm ready.
Sales and marketing. You notice I put CTA, 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 CTA. And that is not the Corporate Transparency Act. Today we're talking about call to action. Because I wasn't doing them. I was so busy out there telling everybody how great I am. Lord knows I'm great, but anyway. I forgot to ask people to buy my product or my service, or even I did not even understand the fundamentals of a call to action. Lisa?
And it's not just, there are people who put calls to action in, but they're not really calls to action. It's like, buy my product, and they forget to put the link to get you to the product.
See, there's a step.
They'll say, go to my website, but they forget to put the link to the website. So the calls to action have a purpose. You want them to stand out. But B, even more importantly, if you're going to put a call to action in, make sure somebody has something to click on. You want to make it as easy as possible, and don't be embarrassed to do it. And always make sure your call to actions are at the top of your website and at the bottom of your website. And if you can put it in the middle, put it there too.
It's like mine on the Face It Friday. Every week you'll see across the top there the link tree / Brenda Solutions. Why? Because if people want to get connected with me, they can go there and find out everything I'm doing and all the things that they can connect to to get connected with the Solutionist. And I love that. But what I wanted to say about calls to actions was sales and marketing is something that small businesses need to understand needs to be part of their strategy right from the beginning, because it doesn't matter if you have the best product in the world if no one knows you have it. And that's where your marketing comes in. You need to have a plan for your marketing. You need to have a plan for your sales, and you definitely need to have a plan for your calls to action so that people will be willing to pay and give you the money that you say you want to get for that product or said service. So make sure you guys, you're paying attention to your marketing, your sales, and your call to action. And then part of doing business your way means you get to decide how you market your product, how you sell, when you sell, where you sell, and what calls to action you do. And Lisa, once you have all of that going on, there's another fundamental that a lot of people overlook. It's about the power of your brand, your colors, your tone of voice, your emotions. How do you want your customers to feel? Do you want 5-star customers? Do you want 3-star customers? Have you given it any thought? Oh, let me go back one more time to that, because I noted I picked this slide because it talks about the growth, the sales, the customer, the awareness, the success. Your brand is how people began to know who you are and what you stand for. And what is your brand saying about you?
Exactly. And it's really important, especially in today's world of social media, that your brand is consistent. So, for example, when you see Brenda, regardless of where you see her, whether you see her on a Zoom or whether you see her in person, you will see the same Brenda in both places. You're not going to see somebody who, when you run into her in public, she shies away. You're going to see somebody just like Brenda, just like you see on the screen. You have to keep that. That's part of your brand. So if you are not like me, I am not a personable person. I'm not. And I don't pretend to be. When you see me, you know I'm business related. If you see me out there, I'm not going to come up and give you a hug and say, "Oh, it's so wonderful to meet you." I'm going to be like, "Hey, it's great to meet you." But it's going to be very business specific. And so keeping that brand very consistent is important, because you can have all the colors in the world and people recognize you once your brand is out there and they get to know you and they get to see it. They're going to consistently see you, and then eventually they're going to see you in person one day, and you want to make sure it's all the same. Everybody really gave Steve Jobs a hard time when he came up with the Apple for computers. Well, remember, the first computer was a Macintosh, and that's how he ended up with the Apple, because Macintosh apples. But everybody gave him a hard time because what does an Apple have to do with the computer? He had an entire thought process to it. So even if it may not necessarily seem like it passes the logic test, if it passes your logic test and that's what you want is your logo and that's what you want is your colors, be consistent, keep it. If you feel you need to pivot, but change everything if you pivot.
And, Lisa, that was important that you said that about it didn't make sense, because when I first did my hands with the globe in the middle, a lot of people didn't understand that. But since people were often telling me they felt like I was holding their souls in my hand, that's where my logo came from. And when it came to the Talk to Me logo, the little cup of coffee with the smoking, my kid drew that picture to me. So it had sentimental value, and it was a way of putting people at ease. And let's grab a cup of coffee or whatever it is you drink, and let's just have a conversation. So although it may not be the fanciest of logos, it meant something to me, and surprisingly it resonated with a lot of people, because I asked them, what do you think about it? They say it made me feel peaceful or it made me feel at ease. But I cannot move past this particular spot until we talk about this, Lisa. One of the things Lisa and I both do for our clients is we do social media and website reviews and LinkedIn and all the rest. And we've learned a lot. So we were able to improve our own as we helped our clients improve those, because sometimes it was a learning in progress. But one thing I must stress here, ladies, and I say ladies, and the men do it too, but the ladies more than anything. If you are selling real estate, when I go to your social media, I don't want to see your behind. I'm going to say it again for those in the back that didn't hear me. Clutch pearl, some of y'all that can't understand this. If you are selling real estate, if you are selling books, you're a publisher or whatever it is you are, I do not want to see your boobs and your butt. Yes, I'm raising my voice on this one because I cannot tell you how often I've gone to someone's so-called business social media, and all I see is behind and boobs and nothing, and I mean nothing to do with your business. If you want people to take you seriously, and I don't want to leave the guys, I'll say if all I see is your chest and your leg, your abs and your bicep, and you are not a personal trainer, baby, fix your site. You're not selling sex. You're selling real estate, unless that's what you do. But okay, I'm just saying be consistent and be mindful that what you're putting out there, does it truly represent what you do? I cannot tell you how many times sales have been lost, at least from me, because I go to someone's Instagram and all I see is a twerk. No, not doing business with you because you're not professional. So if your brand is about the twerk and that's how you work, then go for it. But if that's not who you are trying to represent there, it is nothing wrong with having two social medias, your personal social media and twerk on. But if it's your business social media, ladies and gentlemen, make it about your business. And there's nothing wrong with throwing in your personal stuff. We show family or whatever it is, but be mindful. Does the information you're putting on your business site actually represent your business? And if it is a glimpse of your personal life, is it a glimpse of your personal life that you should share? I dare say them string bikinis with all your behind showing out, I don't need to see all that. But just saying. I'm off my soapbox. Do you have anything to add to that, Lisa, or was that enough?
No, actually, that's right. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about the branding and the importance of branding. Are you doing the same thing? If you and Brenda says you can have a personal page where you do your twerking and then your business page, but be very, very aware. I know what your business page is when I find it, and I know and it's going to connect me at one point to your personal page. So just be very cognizant of your brand.
Remember,
You
you can
are
make it
your
private
brand.
though, Lisa.
Huh?
That's what I'm suggesting for those that feel a need to expose certain aspects of their life. They might want to make those pages private. Everything ain't got to be seen by the public. Just saying. And I wanted to put up this here for Coach because it says, Coach Vasquez, I help male entrepreneurs between the ages of 28 to 38 gain balance in their lives by helping them achieve breakthroughs in the areas of mind, body, and spirit. Avatar, angel. See, that's what I'm talking about. Coach is clear about who he serves, where he serves, who it is, and he named them. Go on, Coach. You did that. I didn't want to miss that because I had missed that comment there. But here's the thing, Lisa. I know we've gone on a little bit about branding, but branding is so important because it does tell people who you are. And if their first introduction to you when they're looking, and I'm using real estate because that was kind of a theme lately of some of the people we have reviewed. If I'm going to go buy a house from you and say I'm a woman of a certain age or for a husband or whatever, and me and my husband go to your site and all I see is that, baby, we ain't buying no house from you. I'm going to find me another realtor. Just saying. Okay, no, I'm not approved, but I'm saying, I'm going to be giving you the side eye. What you selling, houses or what? Okay. Enough of that. I think I've gone on enough. Let's go to the next thing. Lisa, here's another fundamental. Social media. It's your choice. Do you hire or are you a DIYer? Or would you like to do a combination of both? Lisa, you know that I made the biggest mistake when I first started. I was everywhere. Twitter, hitter, ditter, you name it. I was on sites that didn't even make no sense. And then one day my friend Lisa said, Brenda, have you checked the analytics? I'm like, analytics? I didn't even know what an analytic was, y'all. But Lisa sure popped my bubble when she showed me the analytics, and nobody was watching nothing I was doing anywhere but on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. So the other things I was doing, it was like, is that really a good, what do you call
use of time?
Is it a great use of my time? It was not a good investment of my time at all. There was no real return. So being clear on what social media you use, how often you post, when you post, where you post is important, and you need to check your analytics. Lisa?
I agree. And when you have to decide, do you want to do it yourself or do you want somebody else to do it? There are a lot of platforms out there that you can schedule your social media. And today with AI, and I'm telling you, all these platforms are bringing AI in, and then you've got all these free AI resources to help you write your posts. So you really do want to consider, and when starting off, only focus on one social media. Have a LinkedIn, and your LinkedIn page can be static, and then find a social media that's going to be best for your clients, because you want to be able to learn everything about that social media. You want to be able to make sure you get all the information out. With the new changes in Google, the experiences, the expertise, the authority, the trustworthiness, those are important things that are happening. And you want to make sure that you know how to use your social media. It's not just going out and posting. There are so many other things that you can do with social media and how you do your posts, that you want to get real comfortable with. One, learn how the analytics work, then do it. Then you can build and do a second one. And then if you want a third one, but you want to make sure that you get engaged and stay engaged with the people on the site and offer value, because that really is the key. I'm a big advocate for education marketing, and nobody thinks like I do. So for me, I can't hire somebody to do it. I could, but they wouldn't do it the way I would do it. So for me, I'm a DIY.
Now, is that so a little bit of a control freak too? But again, doing business your way requires that you know who you are and know your personality type, so you would know whether to DIY it, hire it, or to use a combination of the two. Now, I also want to make sure that people know, when I first started, I did not know a lot of things about social media. I've learned as I went along. Some of the things I didn't know and that we talk about extensively in the portal, Lisa, is about batching. Being able to take a few hours at the beginning of my week and make several videos that I can then split up and repurpose and use into multiple content, and then use my automated Vista Social to put that content out, was a game changer for me. It increased my productivity. It also gave me a better awareness for the content that I created, how to use it. And there's more than Vista Social. There's Social Bee and many others. Find the automated software that can make your life. Canva now allows you to schedule and post your content that you create there. So there are a lot of options. But again, you don't know what you don't know until you find out about it. Being a part of a community like Convene Communities gave me access to people that taught me things that I had no idea about. Being in the mastermind also helped me with that. So all of that experience that I've gained, I poured that into my life community and into the portal. In the life community, we talk about it. In the paid group coaching and social media, of the Solutionist portal, we actually show you how to do it, how to build it, and how to test those products. So that's all about managing your time, which takes us to the next level here, Lisa, which is, ta-da, time management. I love that little red clock. I think he's so cute. All I had to do was put a face on it, and I'd been happy. I don't know why that clock makes me so happy. But time management, Lisa, that is your thing. Me, my favorite thing is time blocking. I actually schedule my trips to the bathroom. Yes, I said I schedule my trips to the bathroom, because sometimes when I get in here, I love to read, y'all, and I am a shiny object person. Time will slip away so fast. Before you know it, I'm sitting here cross-legged going, and I'm thinking, girl, you 60 years old. Get off this here and go to the bathroom. Maybe that's TMI. Go ahead, Lisa. What's your time management thoughts?
So, I think probably the most important thing I can say, especially when you're talking about time blocking, there's two different ways to time block. You have the option in time blocking to make sure every minute of your day is scheduled. Mm-hmm. However, I actually believe that you should time block in chunks. So in other words, from 9 to 12, you work on one project. This time you work on another, depending on how many different projects you have or different things that you need to do. Because remember, there are only 8 hours in a day. If you work 9 hours, 10 hours, whatever, you should never exceed 10 hours in any given day, because the reality is you are not productive on those days. And the next day, you're not going to be productive either. So try not to exceed 10 hours in any given day. But time is not renewable. It is not rechargeable. Once it's gone, it's gone. And so understanding where your time is during the day can be very, very beneficial for you. But I believe in the time chunking. There are so many different time management abilities out there. Finding what works best for you, though, is really what's going to count. There's the tomato. It's called the Pomodoro.
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 Mm-hmm.
That is working in 20-minute chunks and getting up and doing something.
Mm-hmm.
That is actually a very productive way for a lot of people who are like me. One of the things, so if you are a multitasker,
Mm-hmm.
I want to tell you there's no such thing. I learned that several years ago. What we're doing by multitasking is we're starting, stopping, starting, stopping. That then creates challenges for people because it takes, even though you don't realize how much time it's taking you to regenerate and get stuff done, it is. Multitasking just does not happen because your brain can't do two things at one time. That is a scientific fact. So what you want to do is, if you do it in the 20 minutes, then that will allow you to focus for 20 minutes on something. And I will tell you, I want to say it's been about 5 years now where I started focusing my time. I'm still not up to 30 minutes. I still can't focus on one thing for 30 minutes because I spent 57 years of my life teaching myself that my mind just can't go more than 2 or 3 minutes before jumping onto something else. So find something that works for you. But remember, the most important thing I can say is time is not renewable and it is not rechargeable. Once it's gone, it's gone. So whatever you did with it, that's it. 480 minutes in an 8-hour day is not a lot of time.
And you see here, Coach Vasquez says to do 25 on and 5 off into 2-hour project blocks. I like that. Me, Lisa, and Coach, and oh, hello, Robin. She said greetings, lady, earlier. I am one of those people that time block in the sense that I do things 10, 20 minutes a day. And that I picked up in my sewing career. I had my own sewing business at one time, Lisa. And what I discovered was that if I would start a project and spend 10, 20 minutes a day, by the end of the week, I could have a whole dress made or a whole pair of slacks made or even a suit by just doing little parts of that project a day. And before you know it, I had it done. I've carried that over to this business by making sure that each day I have different things. When I first started, I tried to do everything, the marketing, the sales, the branding, all on one day. But I soon learned that if I would pick like Mondays are my marketing days, and that made it real simple for mine. Tuesdays is Tech Tuesday. Wednesdays is all about wealth. Thursday is all about connections and training. And then Friday, that's when I face it. What is it that I need to do that I did this past week that I didn't finish? And then what do I need to do in the upcoming week to get together? So my time blocking is a combination of the Pomodoro and the block section blocks, but I also block activities because I'm so thankful when you told me to, Brenda, start taking into consideration your prep time. I was so busy saying, I'm going to do this for an hour, but I never realized what it took, or shall I say, I did not factor in what it took to be able to do that hour consistently. And sometimes a project that I had actually given an hour to would actually take 2, or in the case of my editing, it took 6. Had no idea. But when we started using those techniques, and those are things that we teach in the community about how do you really block your time? How do you really process for the projects that you have to do? And to get the best, and now I just finally got it, what I was trying to say earlier, to get the best return on your investment for time or for a product or a service, you have to make sure you understand your time commitment before, during, and after, because there's also aftercare for any project you have. What do you have? Do you have to find it? Do you have to contact somebody else? Is there another step once the project is finished? Packaging, processing, advertising, marketing, and the list goes on. So time management is so important, and it is a fundamental that even when you do business your way, you have to account for the time. And I will tell you, Lisa, when I first said I wanted to take every other month off, everybody thought I was crazy. But the reality is, whatever it is you decide you want to do when it comes to your time, you have the ability to make it happen. I see some more comments. In my business, I select what I'll do or how many clients I'll finish to clear out for the next week. And then her other comment, which one before, they said, awesome. I'm project oriented also. Thanks for that comment, for those comments, Robin. The truth is, we all have to figure out what works best for us. And when we're talking about doing business your way, we're saying find the way that works for you. Lisa's way may not work, my way not might work, but guess what? Each and every one of you are capable of determining what works for you, which leads us to our next and final fundamental of the day. But there's a bonus that I didn't do a slide for that we're going to talk about after this one. Here we go. It is get creative. I have to tell y'all this story. You see that frame in that picture there? Inside the picture, people would say, well, that's the part of it. But then look outside of the lines. That's the stuff people don't often see. Get creative. Lisa, one of my most frustrating times as a mother was when Alex was little, and I think first or maybe third grade. Yeah, third grade. And they came home so dejected because they did two things and the teacher was upset. Number one, they colored somebody's hair purple. And the teacher said, people don't have purple hair. And the other thing was they colored outside the lines. Needless to say, the mama shark in me rose up, and I went to that school and told that lady a few choice words. How dare you tell my child to color in the lines? And people in my community have red hair, blue hair, pink hair, yellow hair, and sometimes gold hair. So, lady, you better wake up and smell the coffee because everybody don't have blonde hair, blue eyes. I was irritated. I was mad. I was angry. Anyway, y'all get the picture. I have a creative child, and I have encouraged my child to color outside the lines every day of their life, and they continue to do so. I think it's so important for us to tap into our inner creativity, and especially when it comes to doing business, because you want to make sure that you are able to do a business that you can have joy and be happy doing. Lisa, let me shut up because you're not going to ad nauseam about this being creative.
You know, creativity, some people actually struggle with being creative. You and I do not struggle with being creative.
No, not at all.
We're like way outside the box. In fact, that slide could have gone for miles. But a lot of people, if you're struggling being creative, that's okay. Just take whatever it is you have and think, how would it work better? Mm-hmm. There's ways to be creative. Don't be afraid of it. It doesn't matter. If it fails, it fails. I think it was who was it that the light bulb? Thomas Edison. Yeah, Thomas Edison. You know, he didn't fail 10,000 times to make the light bulb. He found 10,000 ways not to do it and to do something else. Mm-hmm. So, you know, creativity doesn't have to be so blown up. It can just be small. It can be something you may not have thought about doing. And then you're going to take that step and actually do it.
You know, Robin made a comment here that I want to throw in here. It says time management can help you keep or lose clients. And that's a part of being creative, because time management or lack thereof can help you make or lose clients. But here's the deal about that. You have to creatively understand how to manage your time, because sometimes it had to be creative management when I overbooked myself. How do I juggle all of that? Robin also says, I struggle with creativity. And here's the thing, although I see her say Robin is a very creative person because I've seen the things that she does. But again, it's how we see ourselves. Sometimes it's not always how other people see us. And that's part of creativity too. What you may think is creative, somebody else may just think is a hot mess, because there have been things I've done with when I was sewing that was just, I thought was fabulous. And people were like, what was she thinking? Well, what I was thinking was I was having fun. In your business, I want each and every one of you to have fun. Be creative. Think outside the box. I don't care if you're a life coach and everybody else is a life coach, but do it your way and figure out what can be done. Look around and see what other people are doing. But when it comes down to it, be your most unique, authentic, and creative self so that you can do business your way and have fun with it. Lisa, I have something I want to talk about that I did not put on the slide, and I'm surprised I missed this. And it's one of my favorite things to talk about, the finances. You know, do the math. When you're going to do business your way, you really need to count the costs. What's it going to cost you to do your business? What's it going to cost you to maintain your business? And what's it going to cost you for your business to thrive? Lisa, what are your thoughts about that? We don't have a slide, you guys, but we still gonna have that little conversation. Do I have any money slides? Here we go. What does that one say? How to make more money? There's a money slide. You make more money by being creative, being authentic, and being yourself. Lisa? Yeah.
You know, to do the math is probably the most important thing and probably the least utilized thing in the entire process. Because sometimes creativity doesn't have to cost you anything, by the way, besides your time. But if you think about doing the math, you really want to see how much it's spending. As Brenda mentioned earlier, one of the things a lot of people don't include is the prep time for a client or an activity or a project. They don't think about, they have to think about it. They have to outline it. They have to do whatever. They have to get ready. They don't think about that. So that means they're not thinking about that time and how much money they're actually spending. And so, you know, you may go out and purchase a whole bunch of things. Let's say you're going to have a party and you go out and you just pick stuff up throughout a 6-month period because you know this party is coming. I do it every year for Veterans Day. I actually start during Memorial Day when they put stuff on clearance. That's when I'm picking my stuff up. And same with 4th of July. But I never realized how much money it cost me, even though I'm buying it on clearance, because in the end, I didn't have it for that event. I have the items, so I don't count how much money I spent to buy them. And that's what you really want to think about when you do the math. Think about how much real time you're spending, how much real money you're spending, and do the math. And that includes, your internet and everything else. So do the math. Make sure you got a good ROI on your stuff.
Lisa, and for all the people that are listening, when we're talking about doing business your way, this is something we talk about in Convene Communities, in my life community. You can join that community for free because it's open to the public. And in that community alone, I will teach you how to make passive income. And then when you're ready to level up and really get the support you need, you can access the Soulutionist portal, which is a paid monthly group, which is $97 a month. We're taking the first 150 people as the founder to help founders to help us build the network of community built on helping entrepreneurs leverage up for success, for knowledge, collaboration, and connection. I'm excited about all the things that are happening as we get through with these last 15 days of 2023. Lisa, moving into 2024, we have some amazing things that are going to be shown right here on this channel. So make sure you keep your eye out for what we're doing. Doing business your way is as easy as making the decision to do it your way. Lisa, any final thoughts?
You know what? Have fun with it. Doing it your way can also mean just having fun and really taking a break when you need to take a break. And you know what? I am a workaholic. That is a fact. I love it. My break is work. Well, for 2024, as I was working on my strategy, and my year is implementation, part of the things that I'm implementing is going to be adjusting the way I do business. Because for me, I know at 60 years old, I need to pull back a little bit and not work 7 days a week. I do it. I enjoy it. It's very natural for me, and I need to adjust.
And for me, Lisa, my year 2024 is the year of impact. It's all about making impact for those entrepreneurs that I want to help leverage up, make impact themselves, and go to the next level. So I want to remind each and every one of you, if you're looking for a resource or you're looking for an opportunity to meet and make connections, come on into the live community, join me because I'm here to support you. But most importantly, I'd like to remind each and every one of you, you can do business your way. It simply is making a choice. And as I always tell you, the choices you make today will be the reality you live tomorrow. So choose wisely. Thanks, Lisa.
Thanks, Brenda.